Hello everybody, we're back for more Kubera, for once being recorded, not the day of. Anyway, let's run it.
I guess this will keep the announcer at bay for a while. Agni and Vayu must be freed by now, and they no longer have Surya and his tracking ability on their side. It'll be too risky for them to continue fighting over a vessel at this point. The passage is already opened, and Ananta's resurrection is imminent, so there's no need to hurry anyway.
Ananta can come back if they just wait? I thought a vessel was a must.
It's not that they can resurrect him just by waiting, but something could happen to stir the current power dynamic. Now the majority is against the resurrection thanks to the Tarakas staying quiet, but their coronation is just a week away. And many will switch sides, depending on how the Taraka behave after the coronation.
How's the coronation gonna work? Because, like, Yuta's in the white space. So how's that gonna play out?
Wanting to grasp at straws when you're feeling desperate is a natural thing, you know. So the current power dynamics is a result of Yuta's absence, keeping the Taraka clan. But once Yuta re-emerges, his clan will get more powerful. Then, many will change their stance and support the resurrection, starting with Asura. And if Asura turns against us, the summoner under his protection will be the first to die. But what if Yuta never shows up again? What will happen with the coronation? If Yuta isn't there when the day comes? You'll have second thoughts too. If the Taraka situation goes wrong and Ananta's power becomes desperately needed, you might start thinking it's better to have a willing vessel than to sacrifice one of those kids who don't want to be one.
Yeah, I don't know if we should really be allowing Asha to have that kind of power. Season 3, episode 350, The Snake King 12. What's going on here?
Don't mind Indra or any of those people. They can't hear you. I made sure you can only be heard by me, so talk freely. Are you aware that it wasn't Varuna who had you detained? Yes, we both know Indra lied to us. No matter how much stronger she became through the unconventional summoning, she couldn't have possibly exceeded her original power from the God Realm. So, there was no way she could have detained both me and Agni. That power. It couldn't have been Varuna. It had to be at least a primeval god, and Brahma was the only one among them who could be summoned. She must have stepped in, believing Ananta's resurrection would save this universe. With the other primeval gods absent, she's making decisions on her own. I can't see her making the wrong call. My thoughts exactly, and the fact that Brahma could be wrong was already proven at the beginning of time, when we learned about the best possible future that the old human race could have built. You and I felt so devastated that in the end, we had to use the top just to cope. But Vayu, you're missing something important. You seem to believe Brahma's acting for the good of this universe, that she's just making poor judgments. But I don't think so. She may very well have no interest in whatsoever in saving this universe.
Yeah, she's given up on this one.
The things she said sounded like they meant the destruction of this universe. And she even prioritized killing Leez over securing a vessel.
What's going on? Are they having secret talks about Seer's resummoning or something? I mean, I guess he could be resummoned right away if Vayu got to Ishholy. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Really. I know you don't mean that, so don't even try. Agni, what's wrong? I feel bad enough already that things turned out this way. Even when I did my best to protect Surya's summoner. First, you blindly opposed the consensus of the God Realm. And now you see everything in the negative light. But I get it. After all, Ananta brought Kadru, and your beloved Atera fell because of him. So I can relate to your resentment. If you're too angry to see the bigger picture about bringing Ananta back, I can't blame you. I understand. Hello, Lutz.
So this is how you're gonna play this.
I don't expect you to change your mind. So, if you want, keep fighting for what you believe in. We'll all see how the Taraka turn out in a week. And whether you like it or not, you won't be able to maintain your stance then.
Then Tsuya's summoning bond broke, and Vayu left her surely. So according to Indra, we have a week's time to work with. But that's not to say we should let our guards down. We must keep protecting the vessel candidates. It worries me that we had to divide our forces in order to protect the candidates and summoners that are scattered in different places. We could have joined Asura if it wasn't so in killing the candidates.
Not really. That wouldn't be a good idea, even if he was willing to protect them. You shouldn't fully trust Asura. Knowing him, he could flip sides at any moment.
I don't think that's something for you to say, don't you think?
Very true. But also, he's not wrong. Gandhi's not wrong.
No, Kasak. Don't be too harsh on Godhava. After all, he played a critical role in killing Taraka. He's been working on our side to prevent Ananta's resurrection ever since.
Agni.
Godhava. We're only trusting what we can trust. In other words, we're not expecting you or Asura to have compassion or righteousness. But instead, we're believing in Asura's self-driven interests. In your... No. Rather, in what Minako worked so hard for.
The Agni I used to know would have said he believed in my compassion. For a god who despised slaughterers so much, he always seemed to try and see the best in me. Maybe it was Minako that he believed in the whole time rather than myself. But at least he didn't seem so distant back then. If only I hadn't let that Taraka who imitated Shakuntala get to me. Shakuntala had asked me to let him know how she's doing. But knowing how he massacred all those humans in the past in search of her, I'm afraid of his reaction. It'll be bad for us if he insists on using a fragment to go searching for her. I shouldn't risk that when the resurrection is so close. Godagni, do you think we could get that spear back somehow?
Oh, let me ask Vayu as soon as he returns from Ishuli. He should be better than me at persuading Aravada. In the meantime, why don't you try to learn a new transcendental?
A new transcendental?
That's right. Your transcendental value seems to have gone up.
But even when I wanted to, transcendentals aren't easy to learn, you know? Not to mention the lack of time we have. I mean, I barely mastered a few in 7 years. Ron mastered 2 new ones while we were hiding here. He already had the basics to make it possible, but who knows? Maybe you could manage at least to learn one, at least. If I could, I'd live to. If I could, I'd love to, but I'd live to.
If a Sura-specific transcendental seems too much, then how about learning a human-specific one? I happen to know a fighter who's looking to train someone.
A human-specific transcendental? Is that even a thing?
Of course, just like breaths are exclusive to dragons, there are transcendentals that are exclusive to humans. They are known to be Murugan's legacy, a god that no longer exists. She was so devoted to helping humans that she even created skills only humans could use. Since they're meant for humans who are proficient in wielding weapons such as swords or spears, no one in the Sura realm could teach them you. Plus, you had the Sword of Return back then, so you didn't really need to learn any.
But you can't summon that sword anymore, right? Then, it might just be the right thing for you.
There is a transcendental that goes beyond the limits of a weapon or its user, making attacks that possible that otherwise wouldn't be. I've seen someone use such a skill on this planet. Sheds tear.
Are you referring to Terra Khan, the human you tried to kill 7 years ago?
That's right.
That's precisely who I was referring to as well. So what do you say? I can take you to her if you're willing if you're willing to give it a try.
Terra Khan? Hearing your name brings back memories from 7 years ago. He also recommended Terra Khan as my teacher.
Jesus Christ, episode 49! Season 2, episode 49! That's so long ago!
But I ended up going to the sewer realm, but even before we could talk about anything further. And 7 years just slipped by. I thought it was a thing in the past that had nothing to do with me now. I wonder, did he know this day would come? 7 years ago?
Teo, you meet this lady if you still haven't found your trainee. I love that it just hard cuts to that. Right, we're probably only going to be doing 2 chapters today because I've got an absolute metric ton to record this week because I don't have a huge amount of time to record next week. So I need to record for next week this week. So this reaction will be a little shorter so that I can not fall behind and miss videos next week. It's, yeah. I've said this before, but weirdly enough, when there's a bank holiday, which is a thing in the UK, and I think they have them in America, I assume, and probably in Europe as well. But when bank holidays occur, most people get the day off. Not all people. Obviously, shops are still open for at least an amount of time, and a lot of people still go to work. But a good chunk of people have bank holidays off, even to this day. But I wouldn't, if I worked Mondays at the time being, which I will be soon, which is sad that I'll be losing my luscious free Monday, and that includes bank holiday Mondays. But beside the point, usually that'd mean you get free time. But oddly enough, when there's a bank holiday, because my parents are free, I usually have less time to myself, which means I don't have the time to record as I would because I'm doing stuff for my parents, because we don't tend to have a lot of time to do stuff together because we all work full time. So while I'm happy for bank holidays, they do unfortunately mean I get less free time to myself. But they're a good thing. You should interact with your parents. You should hang out with your parents. You should spend the time that you got with them. Trust me, it's good. It's a good thing. I like working out and going to the gym. Exercise is good for you. Trust me. Anyway, let's carry on with the Kubera video.
Huh? I mean, greetings, Garagni, and nice to meet you. I'm Terra Khan. We've met before? This is new. She dropped all formalities from the get-go when we met last time. Maybe Klob was right about her original soul returning as a result of her name getting registered in the DNR list after her resurrection? We have. I'm sorry, but my memory's a little off.
Terra got into an accident when the Taraka attacked. She fought and survived and regained consciousness, but lost 7 years of memories in the process.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew about the accident, but I didn't know it was that bad. Please, no worries. Were you, like 7 years ago? Maybe not, but then you look the same. Were you in Calibloom 7 years ago? I remember going through a mountain path when I came across someone who looked just like you. I mean, she was identical to you, just a bit slimmer. I never thought I'd meet another woman who looked so much like Rao. Anyway, she had the same name as that infamous Rish, so her image was just stuck with me. I see. Oh, I see. Well, that must have been me. Rish was my alias back then. You must have seen the older version of myself when I got afflicted by Horiyama. Really? Well, that satisfies my curiosity. So it was Horiyama. No, wait. That young lady was at you after Horiyama? That means she doesn't have long to live.
Alright, Teo. Can you be a teacher for a week? We don't have much time, so give her a crash course. Help her master at least one of Murugan's Transcendentals in a week.
A week? not even a year's enough to achieve that goal.
I'm sure she can pull it off. I know how capable she is. Besides, she's Leez's daughter. Oh god, is this God have a half? Oh, one more thing. She's terrible when it comes to lying, so be good to her and help her as much as you can. I really have high hopes for this lady. It's good to have Agni back. It's really good to have Agni back. Season 3, episode 351, The Snake King 13.
Everyone's being kind to me. Maybe it's thanks to God Agni. But some of them are avoiding me altogether. They must have things to hide. Things that weigh on their consciousness.
Conscience.
It's all good. I couldn't care less of what they say or do. I see no point in fighting them over my father's inheritance. The weapon specialization skill is the easiest to trigger, so we should go with that. You'd have trouble activating anything else in just a week. Here, let me show you.
Todd became somewhat casual after Agni left.
Step 1, 2, and 3. The skill requires a set of specific movements to be triggered, and it amplifies your damage anywhere from several tens of times. There are 5 different types depending on the shape of your weapon, but mastering one type resets and invalidates all others. Due to this limitation, you can't master all 5 types simultaneously. Instead, you need to pick one that suits your weapon of choice. What I showed you is called the triple step technique, that specializes in thrusting attacks. But since you use the Sword of Return, you might want to learn the slashing technique, which focuses on slicing. Only one person on the planet is proficient enough to use this skill in real combat. Wait, you're not thinking about getting Zard from the temple, are you? Teo, you can't do that. He's a professor. He isn't taking any private students. But she's Rao's daughter. I'm sure Zard would be happy to help. Her weapon is Sword of Return, so... Teo, don't worry about it. I'll just learn the slashing technique.
What?
I can no longer use the Sword of Return, so I was planning to make a spear my primary weapon.
That's a error. That should say the triple step technique, not slashing technique. What? Interesting.
You can't use that sword? How'd that happen? Well, I left it somewhere. But summoning it might cause some trouble, so... Oh, are you worried that it might hurt people flying over? If I'm not mistaken, it should dodge all obstacles, so don't worry. No, that's not what I'm worried about. Anyway, summoning it isn't an option for me. I'll just learn the piercing skill. Well, in that case, you could learn much more than just the triple step technique from Clary. Well, anyway... So you have no weapon right now, correct? Here, let's practice with this then.
Stick.
Try to stimulate what you saw. Take 3 steps forward, then pierce. Let me see you do it once, then I'll give you the correct posture. 1, 2, and 3. Wow. This stick... I'm so sorry, Teo. Don't worry about it. I can always provide you with more of them. But this... Was the Transcendental triggered at all? No, you only saw it once. It can't be that easy to follow. If it had, we'd see a deeper hole through here rather than these spreading cracks. You did this with your sheer power. I see. This is very promising. If you can do this without the Transcendental, imagine the kind of damage you can do after you master the triple step technique. Since this technique is all about amplifying the damage, a lot of us felt like it was a shame that only purebloods and quarters can master it. It could be so much more potent when used by halves due to their innate superior strength. Wait, halves can't use it? They're humans too. Yeah, but their syrup blood interferes with it. Anyway, you seem much stronger than most halves, so you should be able to use the triple step technique at full power.
Well, random missed call. I should be thankful to God Agni for bringing me such a talented student. Alright, you got 1 week to do this. I'll make sure to check in on you, so grab me for any questions you have. Will do. Thank you. It's important to take those 3 steps as naturally as possible. My boss just messaged me asking me how my driving test went. I'm recording this the day after my driving test, which I passed, by the way. You'll thank me in the comments. My boss has just asked me how my driving test went. Very, very wholesome. Anyhow. While keeping your posture steady, like you're walking on an even surface. That's not all. You also need to gauge the right distance between you and your enemy, and factor in differences in elevation. I think my success rate is about 80% now. There's still time to train, so I could probably bring that up to 100%. But the skill itself is full of weaknesses. You must level ground with the enemy from the start, take 3 natural steps without running, and the target has to be exactly within striking distance. During an all-out battle, it will be a challenging technique. It'll be challenging enough just to find the right moment to use the skill. And if the enemy figure out how it works, they just won't give me the space I need to take those 3 steps. Wait, what if...
Oh, is she gonna try and shorten distance?
It works! I can trigger it by taking 3 steps using shortened distance.
Yep.
And even wider range.
I did actually have this question. I was thinking this during the episode, and I got my answer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, well, with that out of the way, leave a like, comment, up, notification bell, should leave around. Trying thousands of us many ideas, it could be told how many achieve, that'd be fantastic. Also, watch all my other videos. You should watch all my content. No excuse. You should watch all of it right now. Go. You've got all your free time should be spent watching my videos. Anyway. Right, well, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. And with that out of the way, I'll catch you next time for another video. It's for now.